Alright, picture this. You are preparing for that dream job at Google, Amazon or Meta. And you are thinking, how do I make sure that I am ready for that coding interview? Well, let me tell you, Leetcode is the game changer you need to get ahead. Now, I know that starting with Leetcode can feel a little overwhelming at first, but stick with me and I'll show you how to turn Leetcode into your best friend. So first thing first, remember this. A programming language is just a tool. Whether you're coding in Python, Java or C++ or anything else, it's all about how to use it to solve problems. And Leetcode is packed with real questions asked by the top tech giants like Google, Apple, Microsoft, you name it. So in this video, we will understand how to start Leetcode as a beginner strategy-wise. Trust me, once you get the hang of it, solving these challenges is not just going to help you with interviews, but it will actually be fun. Yes, fun. So grab your laptop, pick your favorite language and let's get started. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to never miss an update. So first is, know basic data structures and algorithms. Alright, so before you jump into solving problems on Leetcode, it's really important to have a good understanding of the basics, specifically data structures and algorithm. Here's why. Leetcode isn't just about writing any code that works. It's about solving problems in a way that's efficient and smart. And for that, you need to know the right approach for each problem. So data structures are basically different ways to store and organize data. Knowing when to use each one is key to solving problems faster. Algorithms, on the other hand, are the step-by-step methods you use to work with those data structures. You will run into things like sorting, searching, and other ways to find the best solution. So before you jump into solving a bunch of problems, spend a little time getting familiar with these basics. It will make things way easier and give you more confidence when you face tougher challenges later on. You don't have to be an expert. Just understanding the basics will help you tackle many problems more effectively. So now that you have laid the foundations with the basics, it's time to think about how you're going to approach your Leetcode journey. So let's dive into the next strategy. Next is start slow. Don't try to solve 10 problems in one go. It's tempting, but it's not the best way to improve. The real secret is consistency. Start by solving just 1 or 2 problems in a day. It might feel like slow progress, but trust me, this approach works wonders over time. So here's the deal. Improvement comes from steady daily effort. Make a 30-second schedule plan where you solve 1 to 2 problems each day. It may not seem like much at first, but this consistency builds the momentum. You will gradually improve without burning yourself out. It's like the power of compounding. Small steps every day lead to massive gains over time. Stick to the schedule, trust the process, and you will see the real growth without burning out. So once you have adopted this steady pace, the next thing you should consider is how to structure your learning. Instead of randomly solving problems, let's look at a more organized approach. Alright. Next is start topic-wise and read a little before solving. When you're just starting out with Leetcode, it's a good idea to focus on one topic at a time rather than jumping around randomly. This way, you can build a deeper understanding of each concept and it helps you connect the dots between similar problems later on. So take a few minutes to read up on the topic. It doesn't need to be a detailed study session. Just a quick overview to get the basics. This will give you an idea of what the problems will be about and how to approach solving each of them. You will be able to recognize patterns and know which methods or techniques to use. Alright, now that you know how to approach topics, let's talk about another helpful strategy. Make notes and leave comments. As you solve problems, make it a habit to take notes and leave comments in your code. It may seem like extra work at first, but it really helps in the long run. When you jot down what you learned, it reinforces the concepts and gives you something to refer back to later. So writing comments in your code is also super useful. It helps you understand your thought process when you revisit the problem days or even weeks later. You might forget why you wrote a certain line of code, but a quick comment can remind you the logic behind it. So this thing you can also do while practicing for it, whether you are practicing on a paper and pen or any other online compiler on a core editor. Alright, so now that you are documenting your progress, let's move on to what you should do when you get stuck, alright, which is a very important thing to know. Alright, next is what to do when you get stuck. So when you are stuck on a problem, it's easy to get frustrated, but it's all a part of learning process. If you have been trying for a while and still cannot figure out, don't worry. 90% of the time, you would be figuring out how to code, and the remaining 10% of the time, you will be actually coding and solving the problem. So don't get frustrated by that. So Leetcode offers video solutions that can help you out. So there is an extension known as Leetcode Video Solution. So I want you guys to add that extension. These videos explain the problem step by step, showing you how to approach it from the start, break it down and find the right solution. Watching these can give you a new perspective on how to think about similar problems in the future. So yeah, this particular extension will definitely help you guys. Now that you know how to handle being stuck, let's talk about the time management while solving problems. Give yourself 45 minutes to 1 hour to solve problems. So whenever you tackle a Leetcode problem, set a time limit for yourself about 45 minutes to 1 hour. This keeps you from getting stuck for too long and burning out. If you're close to solving it, you can keep pushing, but if you're nowhere near the solution, don't hesitate to stop and check the solution. So once you review the solution, it's important to understand why it works and how it solves the problem in a more structured and efficient way. After that, go back and write the code on your own without looking at the solution again. Alright? I know you were not able to do that, but you don't have to again see the code and write it all again, because that will be you copying the code. So I want you to write the code on your own without looking at the solution again. Now this process of learning and doing will help you really grasp the concepts and will prepare you for the future problems. Great. Now that you are managing your time, let's talk about revisiting the problems. So next is revisit the problem after a few weeks. So if you weren't able to solve a problem on your own, don't just move on and forget about it. Make sure to revisit that problems after a few weeks. When you go back to a problem you struggled with, you will often find that things start to click. So you will approach it with fresh eyes and with the practice you have gained from other problems. You might find a better solution or understand the approach more clearly. Revisiting the problems will give you a chance to see how far you have come, but there's something else that will help you solve problems more quickly. Next is focus on pattern in questions. One of the key things to focus on while solving a Leetcode problem is recognizing patterns in questions. Many problems may look different at first, but they often follow similar patterns or require the same kind of approach. As you solve problems, you will start noticing these common patterns, like how certain types of problems use recursion, or dynamic programming, or certain data structures like trees or arrays. By identifying these patterns, you can approach new problems with more confidence and you know which techniques to apply. So yeah, focus on patterns rather than questions. There are many questions. If you focus on patterns, there are many questions that you can solve with that particular pattern mindset. So there will be many questions in Leetcode which will have the same pattern, but the questions will be different. So once you understood the pattern of it, you can easily solve those questions and it will be very easy for you. But that thing can only be done if you practice for that. And the more you practice, the more you will be able to, figure out the patterns in questions. So that is the one thing that you must focus on the most. Once you have developed your ability to recognize patterns, you will be ready for something even more exciting. That is the Leetcode contests. Yes. So for that, let's talk about why they are such a valuable part of your learning journey. Alright, next is start participating in Leetcode contests. So once you have solved a decent number of problems and feel comfortable with the basics, it's a good idea to start participating in Leetcode contests. So these contests are a great way to challenge yourself and apply what you have learned in a timed environment. Leetcode contests push you to think quickly and solve problems under pressure, which is excellent practice for real-world coding interviews. Plus, the problems in contests are often fresh and unique, giving you the opportunity to face new challenges and improve your problem-solving speed. So it will give you that particular whole scenario of a interview where the time is ticking and you will be doing the coding questions. So to be in that situation or be in that circumstances, you have to go through the Leetcode contest and it will definitely help you out. Alright, so finally let's talk about the most important strategy, which is repetition is the key. When it comes to mastering Leetcode problems, repetition is your best friend. The more you practice, the better you get. It's not enough to just solve a problem and move on. Revisit problems, try different approaches and practice similar ones again and again. By repeating problems, you reinforce your understanding of important concepts and approaches. It helps you recognize patterns faster and apply the right techniques with more confidence. Each time you revisit a problem, you will find it easier and more intuitive. So try to repeat as more as you can. Also, if you are ready to take your DSA skills to the next level, the Advanced Full Stack Bootcamp by upGrad is a perfect choice. This course covers key data structures like arrays, linked lists, stacks, queues and trees, along with algorithms for searching, sorting and optimizing. You will also dive deep into full stack development using JavaScript, React, Node.js and more. Plus, you will receive personalized career guidance from experienced professionals to help you thrive in the tech industry. Don't wait, click the link in the description to get started. Remember, it's not about rushing or solving hundreds of problems in a day. Consistency is the key. Focus on solving just 1 to 2 problems daily, keep revisiting challenging ones, and always take time to understand the solution. Don't forget to track your progress, make notes, and look for patterns in questions you encounter. And when you feel confident, start participating in Leetcode contests. Thanks for watching. I hope the things we discussed help you get started on Leetcode and boost your coding journey. Stay tuned for more content like this and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.